Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So Piers Morgan had a panel of guests on his show recently to debate a series of interesting subjects, one of which being Trump almost being assassinated on Monday. I know it was Sunday for you guys if you are in the US. And he had some decent guests, I guess you could say, except for the likes of Cenk Uygur. He has Cenk on so many times, and I don't know why he has him on because he's really just a insufferable human being, and I cannot stand listening to Cenk because he acts like a 2-year-old child most of the time that has had his dummy taken away from him. And if he doesn't get it back, you're going to know about it. You know about Cenk being unhappy, especially in regards to Donald Trump, even though the facts are slapping him in the face, he still cannot see it, nor does he even care about it. And that's what I've got a problem with. In today's day and age, even if the truth is slapping people in the face, and that's what it does sometimes because the truth is ever so revealing, it can hurt if someone doesn't actually believe in the truth. It has this ability to pierce through the lie. But in today's day and age, people in politics, especially on the left, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen on the right, but it seems to happen more so on the left, have become so good at gaslighting people nowadays that even if the truth is right there, they don't accept it. And so they try and work their way around the truth and try and create this alternative narrative. Here's a version of the truth that I think is actually right. And that is exactly what Cenk Uygur does. It's really disingenuous. I hate people that lie. It really pisses me off. Something terrible. It really does. I do not like liars. I cannot stand them. I'm sick and tired of people that, first and foremost, claim to be, truthful individuals, but yet they go on these unhinged rants talking about nonsense and lies. Cenk does that all the time. He did this on Piers Morgan recently, and Candace Owens rightfully had to put him in his place a little bit. It was great to actually watch Candace say, ever so calmly, Cenk, you got to calm down a little bit, sit on your hands just a little bit, but he can't take it. The guy is just something wrong with him. There really is. There's something truly wrong with him. And he goes, I need to get, I'm passionate about these issues because no one actually listens. Now, I did watch further on into the actual interview after this clip, and he's calling the Navy SEAL in this clip, the one that served his country, he's calling him an imbecile and other words that you should not be actually saying because, Cenk, mate, you haven't served your country. You've been spoon-fed all your life. You've been given everything under a silver platter. You have a privileged life, and yet you call this guy an evil human being because apparently he's a despicable human being, according to you, because he's apparently killed so many people in Afghanistan. He served his country. He didn't ask for that, but he did, and he went willingly. What did you do? All you do is sit back and critique people that have done right, such as Donald Trump. But you hate Donald Trump so much that your rhetoric is also responsible for crazed leftists that think he needs to be eliminated. And that, to me, is a problem. When you spout lies nonstop, and your rhetoric is one of actually inciting violence, it's actual hatred towards a person, that's a problem. My other issue is when people don't really understand the full effect that if a person in a position of power says this person is a threat to democracy, they're a threat, they're a threat, they're a threat, what do you think an unhinged person is going to do with that? Huh? If you're saying that somebody is a threat, you're going to have some crazed lunatic that goes, I need to fix that threat. I have someone in a position of power that I worship and I idolize, and I'm on their side. And, they've told me that this person is a threat, so I need to do something about it. I'm going to be the hero for my party. look at me. But in actual reality, they may not want it. They may not admit it on air that they want it, but their rhetoric speaks otherwise. Cenk doesn't seem to get that because he thinks that Trump is the worst thing in the world, but he can't look at what's right in front of him, being Kamala Harris, who is literally talking about communist policies, the one policy that she actually did say happened to be a communist one. And then all the other rhetoric saying he's a threat and a danger to democracy. Did you watch the debate, Cenk? But no, nevertheless, you're going that Kamala Harris won that debate. Trump was flustered. Trump was this, and that. Mate, grow the hell up. Honestly, there is something seriously wrong with your brain. You're delusional is what you are, first and foremost. Piers rightfully pointed out, so, like, you need to, don't you see the irony and the hypocrisy? Like, you're calling your panelists certain unhinged, but yet you're going on this long-ass rant yourself about how much you hate Trump and how much he's the enemy of democracy, and you hate him and you don't wish him to be the president. Like, anyway, have a watch of this clip and see for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, because it is quite the show.
Trump loves democracy. Donald Trump, no. Donald Trump's still the same monster he was yesterday. So I hate that people are shooting at him. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's immoral. It's wrong.
Why would you be surprised?
I can't condemn it any stronger.
Why would you be surprised?
I'm not going to tell you that Donald Trump is a decent man,
but Cenk,
when
why
he's
would
a
you
grotesque human being.
Why would you be surprised that people are taking drastic action? Unhinged people with unhinged brains who are listening to constant rhetoric from people.
You didn't answer the question.
Well,
what do you want me to do? You want me to politically surrender, right?
I'm asking you a question. Do you not consider for a moment that within 48 hours you're still saying monster, demagogue, dictator, blah,
yes,
blah, 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 blah.
Because that's who he is.
Yes, but this is what is affecting...
So you want me to lie?
Yeah, because...
Piers, tell me this.
Because
do you want me to lie?
Let me finish. The shooter at the golf course, specifically in his recent social media posts, parroted Kamala Harris, saying that he was effectively an existential threat to democracy in America. You're doing the same. Does nothing make you pause?
You're insane.
Hillary Clinton's doing the same.
Trump does it 2,000 times worse.
Piers,
because
you think he does it,
your great idea is Democrats shouldn't. Your great idea is Democrats shouldn't campaign against your beloved Donald Trump because some moron, mentally unstable guy took a shot at him. Okay, or two of them did. You know what? I can protect Donald Trump. Ban assault weapons. That'll protect Donald Trump way more than any of say nice things about him. Now that some lunatic took some shots at him. Here, let me be super clear. If you're on the left, I know the right-wingers love their guns and Second Amendment remedy, and they've been riled up to do violence nonstop. But if you're on the left and you do any violence, you are not one of us. You're a stupid person who does nothing but make a worthy cause look immoral with your insanity. Never do violence. Is that clear enough?
Or maybe when they constantly hear on the airways people like you and Hillary Clinton and others constantly depicting Trump as an existential threat to democracy in America.
Piers, you're totally guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Because you support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has done 2,000 times worse, and you know it. You won't even run it on this show.
Okay.
You won't even run it on this show because Donald Trump, what he says is so much worse than anything a Democrat has ever said about him. So you won't even run it on this show. So that's it. Are you telling Donald Trump, you better shut up? You better not say any of those gross things that you always say. You know that he joked about smashing Nancy Pelosi's husband's head in with a hammer.
Yeah, and the truth
One
is,
of his
Cenk,
lunatic fans tried to murder Nancy Pelosi's husband, and he's like, it's so funny. Do you know that when they try to murder his vice president, he then turned around and said he deserved it? He's a psycho, and you defend him every day, Piers.
Here's the problem. You have no idea what I've said about Trump when he's done these things. If you had, you wouldn't accuse me of not talking about them, because I always do.
Shut up?
Because I always do.
No, we just want you to tell the freaking truth. Is that so hard to do? But clearly for you, Cenk, it is actually really hard to do. I mean, I don't agree with everything that Piers Morgan says. In fact, if you've seen some of my videos of late, you know that I've been highly critical of him, especially when it comes to Tommy Robinson and for Piers Morgan actually lying. But seriously, at least, please, for the love of God, tell the damn truth. Don't lie. But according to Cenk, he would be lying if he calls Donald Trump a decent human being. That's not a hard thing to say because there's a lot of things that I've seen Donald Trump do that make him a more decent human being than Cenk Uygur, believe it or not. So Piers actually points this out to Cenk, like this. Don't you see? 1 minute you are saying, "Oh, I don't wish him to be shot," but then the next minute you're saying that he's despicable and you hate him. Like, don't you see? There's a problem with that. So if I go to Cenk, "Oh, I don't want you to be shot, mate, but I hate you and you're a despicable human being." Like, come on. That's not inciting any kind of violence whatsoever. Like, I need to be a decent human being first and foremost, and I also need to be a wise human being, especially when it comes to the things that I say. I'm all for free speech, but just because we have freedom of speech doesn't give you the liberty to wish ill on somebody else. I mean, you can do that, but it's not a good or a wise thing to do. I don't think it's like as adults, I think we should be rather careful with what we say and how we say it. Doesn't make it right. I've said this so many times. But I don't think Cenk seems to get that. And also, when he speaks over Candace Owens, like the guy's gone on an unhinged rant for a couple of minutes, and yet he won't let his other guests speak because he can't stand it. He can't stand when the truth is just hitting him on all fronts. And then he just calls people names. That's what leftists do. They just start calling people these names and throw out these labels that have no substance to them whatsoever. And his point of ban assault weapons, that's not going to do anything. It really isn't. Because if a unhinged, deranged lunatic wants to carry out something nefarious, they will do just that. Just because you don't have access to a gun doesn't mean someone can't get access to a gun or a knife or find some other way. There's so many other things they could do, man. So I don't think banning assault weapons is the right course of action here. But hey, for a leftist that doesn't like guns, evidently, and is all for, you know, censorship as well and all for removing guns, it's a perfect opportunity for these leftists to go, you know what, we need to ban guns because look what happened to Donald Trump. No, that's not the answer. The answer is, why are unhinged lunatics going after Donald Trump in the first place? Look at your rhetoric. That plays a huge role. Cenk can't see that. So he goes, like every other leftist, the resolution to the problem here of Trump almost being assassinated twice, we're not going to look at that. We're going to look at the actual tool that was used, and we need to ban that. Therefore, it's not going to happen again. Are you freaking kidding me, man? Are you that blind? Are you that stupid and that much of a dingbat? I think you actually are, but hey, you're just insufferable, mate. You got no logical consensus around any point that you're making. None whatsoever. None of it makes sense at all. Wow, you're guilty because you support Donald Trump. What, in fact, is he guilty of exactly, Cenk? Huh? Can you care to elaborate for me? My goodness me. Saying somebody is guilty of what? I mean, if you want to say that Piers is guilty of lying, yes, Piers is definitely guilty of lying for several things. But I don't think he's guilty in this case. Just because he likes Trump and he's supportive of Trump and he thinks that Trump needs to be protected, even though Piers, I know, has been critical of Trump in the past, so be it. You should be. You're allowed to be critical of people. But according to Cenk, no. Trump is the enemy. Trump is the devil. Trump is the next Hitler. Trump is this. Trump is that. Trump is the worst. But you can't actually see what's going on in your own party. It's not people on the right that are going after Trump. It's people on the left that are going after Trump. People in your party. So answer me this question, Cenk, if you would be so kind. Why is that? Could it be the rhetoric, the hateful rhetoric that you and so many other people on the far left are spewing? Could that be the case? Anyway, just another one of those debates from Piers Morgan that loves to raise my blood pressure because of insufferable human beings like Cenk Uygur. And by the way, Cenk, you need to tone it down. Just chill. Otherwise, you're going to have a heart attack. Dear, oh dear, ladies and gentlemen, very strange world. Politics is crazy. It's nuts. But you guys take care. You be blessed. And I'll see you all in the next video.